Hey, Team Dirt Road Traveler. We're doing a little walk today, 7 kilometers. Today's Canada Day, July 1st. Just want to talk to you about a decision that Cindy and I made a couple months ago. We've decided that we want to experience the Camino de Santiago. For those of you that aren't familiar with it, basically it's a spiritual walk. It's in Spain, and you do a pilgrim's walk, and we've decided we're doing it. We're going to do it next May. But we're at a crossroads right now. There's a couple of options on doing the Camino. One that we've looked at is the more traditional last 100 kilometers. You have your pilgrim's passport that gets stamped at all sorts of different places. The other option is a more touristy, foodie, longer, yet a lot of the travel is by means of buses. And we don't know which one we want to do. So during this video, we're going to actually be discussing the merits of both and choosing which one we're going to do. So while I'm recording this, we don't know which one. We haven't decided. So please join us as we go through that process of making the decision of which Camino is right for Tim, for Cindy, for Team Dirt Road Traveler. So I guess we should start by saying, how did we even find out what this Camino de Santiago is? Well, about 6 months ago, we watched a movie called The Way. It's written, directed, produced by Emilio Esteves, who actually also wrote, directed, acted in, produced The Public, which is also a phenomenal movie that I actually had an opportunity to talk to Emilio about. So we watched the movie called The Way. It taught us about the Camino de Santiago. It talks about, the Apostle St. James is buried in this Santiago Compostela church that's brilliant. And it really inspired us. The movie itself inspired us. So that's part number one. Number two, we reached out to our amazing travel agent, Darren, who gave us a couple of options. The first option is with a group called Exodus Travel. Now, it does a more traditional last 114 kilometers of the traditional St. James Way route. You follow the seashells, you stay at some nice hotels, and it really is just a really good experience for people that are doing the Camino. So Exodus is a 9-day, 6 full days of walking, covering off all that territory. And here's the itinerary, and it's, really a manageable trek. So that's option number one for us. Lots of opportunities, a little less touristy, but still gives us the creature comforts that, Cindy and I are used to when we do those types of trips, or any types of trips. Okay, before we get into the U-Tracks, the other option, the other tour operator, I want to make a couple of things abundantly clear. 1, we ain't kids. 2, on average, we walk somewhere between 7 and 8 kilometers every day. 3, and this is the really important piece to this. These two tours are absolutely different. The U-Tracks that we're going to talk about next has a whole bunch of other inclusions. The duration of the trip is about 60% longer. So we're not looking at the dollars. We can't. This is about the experience. So after we're finished this walk, which is scheduled to be an 8-kilometer walk this morning, we'll get into the U-Tracks Camino walk. Wow, back at the Casa from an 8-kilometer walk. Just before we get into the U-Tracks, wanted to invite you to subscribe, like, and comment to the Dirt Road Traveler page. And there's a lot of value to that. First, it tells YouTube that we're doing some pretty decent stuff. Second, over the next 10 months, we've got some pretty cool stuff planned. We're going to be going to Nashville and enjoying the professional bull riders tour stop there and doing some whiskey tours. In October, we're going to be traveling the region of Bordeaux on Uniworld cruises. We're going to spend December in Egypt and Morocco, from pyramids to markets to Casablanca, play it again, Sam, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we'd love to have you join the Dirt Road Traveler family. Anyways, now we're going to go on another walk and we're going to talk about U-Tracks. Well, here we go for the U-Tracks portion of our decision-making process. We're on our Sunday morning walk. It's going to be about 13 kilometers today. We're halfway in. And we've stopped in Golden Lake, which is sitting on the Pikwakanagan First Nation in the Ottawa Valley. So let's talk about U-Tracks. Let's talk about the U-Tracks opportunity. So it is 15 days instead of the previous 9-day opportunity. One of the big things about this trip is it's more of a foodie adventure. Yes, we start in a little Spanish town called Bilboa. It's about 550-ish, somebody can correct me, I'm sure they will, kilometers away from Santiago. And it's on the North Shore. So initially the walk starts on the North Shore. There's a significant amount of busing, something in the neighborhood of, 400 kilometers of busing, I think. And the sites are different. We go through Lyon, we go through a couple other areas. La Salgar is one of the cities or towns that we go through. It's the home of Casa Marcial, which is a 2 Michelin star restaurant, and we go there. That's part of the tour. Then when we get to Santiago, we go to La Tafona, which is a 1-star Michelin restaurant. So there's also a number of wine tasting opportunities, vineyard tours, cooking class kind of opportunities. So that's where we're at. Again, completely different theme for the experience, but the experience itself ultimately ends with, I guess we could say, the brotherhood of doing a walk like that. We have the decision to make, and it's going to be some mind racking. We have decided that we want to have our decision made by the end of the day tomorrow. Now, if this was House Hunters International, we'd break for commercial. We're not going to. We're going to fade out and then fade back in tomorrow with what our decision was. So please send us some vibes, send us your thoughts in your minds right now, backtracking it to July of 2022 to help give us the strength to make this decision. Anyways, we look forward to telling you what decision we make. Okay, so actually that walk ended up being 12.5 kilometers, just under 2 hours. So a couple of things that Cindy mentioned to me that I didn't make entirely clear. One of the things that the U-Tracks includes is dinners every night where the Exodus does not. The accommodations are pretty much the same for both, sort of 2-star, 3-star hotels and what are called pensions, which is sort of like a bed and breakfast, but not, because it has its own bathroom in each suite. Utrecht also includes one night in a former monastery and another one in an old castle palace kind of thing. Walking difference, if you average it by day, it's about the same. Exodus is, as I said, just over 100 kilometers, the traditional end of the St. James route from Syria into Santiago. And the Utrecht is the better part of 140 kilometers, but again, it's over 6 or 5 more days. So they're pretty similar with respect to the distances walked. So that's sort of the end of that part of our discussion. As I said just before, while we were still in Golden Lake, we're going to now chew on this. We've decided that this evening our dinner conversation will be the last of the decision-making process, so that by some point in our time tomorrow, in your time about 27 seconds, what the decision is of which tour we're going to take. And lastly, we did actually sort of do mental math on the two, albeit there's a price difference between the two. The per day price is pretty similar when we take out and take into consideration the value of the two Michelin star restaurants, because they obviously have a significantly higher dollar value for a dinner. So that's it. So answer coming up in a second.
Well, it's been an interesting couple of hours.
Yeah.
It's like 3 hours. So what we've done is we started off, we watched a couple of YouTube videos, and I just want to give shout outs to Nadine Walks and to Lisa and Josh. I've tagged you guys down below in the description. Your videos meant a ton.
Yeah, Lisa and Josh.
Yeah, Lisa and Josh. Seriously, you two, like, you're rock stars. So congratulations on that. And then we went through sort of the day by days of both of the options that we were looking at. Sort of, it was beyond just comparing, this apple to this apple and that apple to that apple. The problem with doing that in this situation was it was a grapefruit, a kiwi, a grape, an apple, 3 bananas, and a kumquat. So it was really super tough. So what we decided to do is we've both written down our choice. And they're face down. Cindy has my choice. I have her choice. So we're now going to but funny, earlier today we drove to the great big orange box store that sells home improvement stuff. And as we were driving, I said to Cindy, okay, I've got a gun against your head, and right now you have to tell me which of the two you would choose if you were on the spot right now. And what happened to you?
I hesitated, so I was...
Yeah. So, mind blown at that point. So, here it is. The moment that you guys have spent the last 14 minutes and now these 2.5 minutes. So you're 16.5 minutes into finding out that Cindy's choice was Utrecht's Food Lovers and Tim's choice was the Foodie Tour. So that's what we've chosen. We're going to do a 16-day hybrid.
135 kilometers though walking.
135, 145?
135.
135 kilometers of walking still. This ain't no free pass.
No.
So it's like 15 days, food, wine, Camino, brotherhood, and all sorts of other benefits and beautiful things.
The wineries, palaces,
monasteries. 2-star Michelin restaurants and 1 1-star. I left one out earlier. We didn't even realize was part of the tour. So we're aligned. And now Darren at Merit Travel in Ottawa has to figure out how to get us to Madrid, how to get us from Madrid to Bilbao. Then from Santiago down to Porto, because we're going to spend some time in Porto, a couple days. And then we're going to go from Porto to Lisbon. We're going to spend a few days in Lisbon, and then we're going to come back and be boring Casamaki, Wilbur Lake people. So we hope you stuck with us. It's been kind of weird. I don't think we've ever, we're the kind of people that I send a text message to Darren and say, I'll send a message to Darren saying, hey dude, yeah, you're right, we should go to Nashville for a weekend. Or, wow, Darren, thank you for finding that crazy trip to Egypt. Yeah, we'll book that.
Right.
And then we never think about it. This is the first time ever that we've actually spent a lot of time.
4 or 5 days thinking about it. It's weird.
From the time that we actually, from the time that we actually started thinking about it. It got onto our radar back in March. But thanks for sticking with us. And really, for those of you that retroactively sent us positive vibes, thank you. And we do have some sponsors. Add Caffeine sponsors us. Merit Travel sponsors us. And hopefully Utrax decides they'd like to have us make sure that we talk about them a lot on that 15-day tour. Guys, thanks for watching Dirt Road Travelers. Have a wonderful rest of your day doing whatever you're doing. And please take the time to look around the world and just see what you can see and experience what you can experience. Bye for now.
Buen camino.
Buen camino.